How you feeling, man?
Nervous.
Yeah? Is this your first time doing something like this?
Yep.
I'm kind of surprised by that, given, you're an engineer, and I imagine that you've probably had to conduct training type things, and you work on a pretty...
Yeah, I get nervous with those too, I guess.
Have you ever done any sort of like public speaking or anything?
I took a speech class in college.
I'm going to qualify that as a no, probably. Yeah. Well, welcome. I mean, I guess on a positive note, this is going to be broadcast to exactly like 5 people, most of whom are our parents.
Yeah. That's 4 of them.
Yeah, in the initial... You only have 2?
Yeah.
Mine's uncertain, I think.
Uncertain number of parents? How does that work?
Well, anybody who's listening, welcome to the show. Tim and I have been talking about doing something like this for a while now, and
Days at least.
Days, yes. It's funny because a lot of these shows come on the back of like a really long-standing friendship and or habit that's lasted a bunch of years. But I mean, we've really only known each other for a brief period of time.
6 months ish.
Yeah, 6 months maybe. Yep.
Something like that. He picked me up at a bar. Just FYI.
That is actually what happened. Sarah and I just moved up to Paulsbo, Washington, which is where we're filming this consequently. I am always sort of looking for friends, and Tim happened to be wearing this Guardians of the Galaxy shirt, and I was like, maybe he's a nerd. Well, yeah, that was actually the thing that put me over, because I saw the shirt and I was like, he might have just picked that up at Target, but then I saw the cup too, and it was like, nobody walks around with 2 nerd things who isn't like a legit nerd. And I'm glad that I'm glad I took the initiative to say hi. We've been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering lately and dabbling in D&D, or at least I have. And you've been a bit more full send on that. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun, man.
You can come back and play.
I may actually.
Tuesday.
I may.
I think that's our next session.
Is it? How does that work? Am I going to be like underclassed now if I come back, or?
Maybe. I have to talk to Todd.
It might be fun if I'm underclassed.
Yeah.
All right.
You still be my meat shield.
I think that's exactly how it worked last time, actually. Yeah. My character fell in I don't know, love or lust with yours, and was
just like real life.
It's not far off. Oh, dude. So what we had talked about as far as how we ended up doing this, how we ended up here in this room together, is I had some experience doing a show with a couple of really cool guys named Josh and Ryan, who run a really popular video game podcast called the Video Gamers Podcast. And I had co-hosted on that show for a bit. And since then, I've sort of had the itch to do something again like that. But I'll tell you, man, I mean, coming from a show with the history and the production value that show came from, dialing into something that felt worthy of continuing a conversation was really a challenge for me. And so meeting you and having conversations with you about your interests and sort of where those interests intersected was really valuable. And maybe you could tell people kind of how that conversation developed and sort of what we settled on as something we thought might be fun or whatever to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we have a boatload of shared interests, from comic books and Magic and D&D and even fitness, although I am not nearly as fit as I used to be or should be. Or
you have a strong handshake, sir.
Could be. Yeah, thank you. Working on
working wood.
Yeah, I do that as well.
We are of a similar age, and we've got a lot of the similar sort of like superficial interests, but we also happen to, share an affinity for wellness just in general, physical wellness, but also hopefully contributing to making people feel better and emotional health and that kind of thing. We are both pretty well traveled individuals. Both have had success in our careers, and both need a lot of external validation, which is sort of what brings us here, man.
True story.
And something that we talked about that really resonated with me, and I've honestly been looking for sort of an outlet for it for a long time, is that I grew up quite heavy and anxious. Anybody who's coming over to listen to this from the Video Gamers podcast has heard me talk about this a lot. I used to weigh 300 plus pounds. I was close to 40% body fat. And, I had all this stuff. I was, didn't have a lot of money growing up. I got picked on a lot. I got kicked out of 5 high schools before I graduated. I myself wasn't a great person. I allowed myself to sort of like gravitate towards the dark side of the force. And it wasn't until I really started utilizing my nerd affinities as true life inspiration that I was able to really change the trajectory of my life. And it's interesting how accessible these inspirations are for your average nerd who might be listening to this show, but how few people do anything with it. Like we have the good fortune of having all these awesome role models that we've grown up with, like your Captain Americas and your Harry Potters and your Luke Skywalkers and your Gandalfs and everything across the spectrum. And it's a bit of a cliche, but your typical person who's really into fandom spends a lot of time indoors, not a lot of time talking to people, and a lot of people regretfully end up I don't want to say wasting their life, but I should say not optimizing their lives. And that was a real game changer for me. Was just that, there's a great quote from the Batman Begins movie that Alfred shares with Bruce, where he says it's not who you are deep down inside, but what you do that defines you. And something about that sentiment really resonated with me.
That was Rachel Dawes.
Was it Rachel who said that?
Mm-hmm.
Not Alfred? Well, poop on me.
I have before, and I will again.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Tim.
I was born in Florida, grew up in Indiana. Indiana sucks, so I came out west. I'm an engineer. I love everything nerdy. That goes from actual nerd stuff like math to geek stuff like comics and video games, and I've always loved fitness. I don't like watching sports too much, but I loved playing sports. And I guess like the biggest change in my life happened when I blew out my knee. When I blew out my knee.
When you say blew out, I
was playing soccer, and I hurt my knee a couple of times between soccer and basketball. And just the wear and tear over the years, I developed a hole in the cartilage the size of my thumb, and it started making contact, and I developed a bone bruise. And had to have surgery called microfracture surgery that healed the cartilage, but my knee has never recovered. I can't do anything high impact anymore. I can't play soccer, can't play basketball. I can barely ride a bike, but then my neck is also mucked up. So I can't lift my head for long periods of time, or my hands go numb, and it stinking hurts. So between those two things, when I was about 35, 36, I couldn't exercise the way I wanted to anymore. Couldn't do martial arts anymore. Couldn't play sports anymore. Took a major, major hit on my mental health. Therapy has helped a lot. A lot of people don't talk about it, especially guys. Don't think it's cool to be in therapy. I disagree.
Well, it's not cool.
Yeah,
but...
yeah. Well, they think it's the opposite of cool.
Right.
They just, I don't know. There's a huge stigma around therapy, and you can benefit from it. Trust me. So, in any case, between therapy and nerd stuff and doing what exercise I can, just I want to help other people in similar situations that maybe can't do everything they want to do, but you can still do something.
I love that, man. Again, that resonates quite a bit with me, and I have a similar experience. After the military, which there's like a fitness component in the military, but after I got out of the military, I was really struggling with like what do I do? What is the purpose of me staying in shape? And I also got into martial arts. I did Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu and MMA for quite a long time. But I, like you know, I've got knee injuries, I've got back injuries, I've got spinal injuries, and I got to a point where I like wasn't able to do it anymore, and just figuring out what my life is, you know, without those sports has been an exploration in itself. What part of Florida are you from? Are you from like the Florida man part of Florida?
I mean, the whole Florida's Florida man territory. But I'm a little south of that, I think. I was born in Boca Raton.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That seems like the rich, nice area of Florida.
it is now. Back then, it was a poo hole. So
Does your family still live there? Or?
I've got a lot of family there. Most of them have passed away. Like all my grandparents live down there, but they've all since passed away. My aunt and uncle and my cousins still live down there. And then my dad obviously moved us to Indiana for a job. I've lived in Indiana since I was 5, and then moved out here 2.5 years ago.
And how do you like it in Paulsboro, Washington?
It's paradise compared to the other places. Absolutely.
Yeah, for anybody listening to this show, Paulsboro is like it's gonna at some point get discovered, and
Yeah. Don't move here.
come visit.
Too crowded.
Yeah, come visit. We've got great bakeries, but leave at the end of the day, please.
That's right.
We like our little community. What sports did you play?
I wrestled, I did track, and then a little while after the first round of college, I got into soccer. And soccer was right up there with martial arts in terms of like how much I loved it. I played basketball recreationally, but never like for high school or anything. So
Right, just for fun.
Yep.
Do you mind if I ask what got you into like martial arts can be a really intimidating thing for people,
Sure.
right? Like it's like there's nowhere to hide in martial arts. You know, it is one of the things out there where you are like putting yourself out more clearly as an individual than just about anything else I can think of. And I think for a lot of people that is like such a barrier of entry that anybody who has interests in it may shy away from. Unless you have a really strong reason to start, or if you start young, you know, if your parents start you out. What got you started in martial arts?
Yeah, that was mostly being bullied in high school.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to defend myself. So I started in Taekwondo.
So origin story for a lot of heroes there. Yeah.
And villains.
And villains.
Yeah, Cobra Kai for life, baby.
Such a good show.
Yeah, so that's how it started. I may have overcorrected for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Afterwards, but then back to the light side.
Yeah. I did the same thing, man. It's so easy for me now on this path of my life to look at people who haven't figured it out yet and sort of like prejudge people like, how could these kids be doing XYZ or judging people based on their actions in the moment. And I'm like, John, bro, you gotta zoom out here, man. Like up until honestly, like I didn't start figuring things out until my mid-20s. Like I feel like I was an okay guy in the military.
Seems pretty early to me.
When did you start turning things around?
Oh. I think I'm still trying, man.
That's fair. Work in progress. My parents got me like a three-day trial to a karate school when I was young. I was still quite overweight and not physically capable in any way. And I remember doing one class and feeling so inept that I didn't want to continue or whatever. But for sure I had this draw to not only feel capable, but to kind of like, do what was the cool thing? Like I wanted to be a Ninja Turtle or a Karate Kid or something like that. Was there some underlying inspiration, or was it just purely for you? Like,
Oh no, I mean, there's always inspiration. I mean, I grew up on Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee and
yeah,
Ninja Turtles. And
cartoons have come a long way, man. We'll probably end up talking about this on a successive episode, but
yeah,
I think, and most of them are probably geared towards our generation at this point. Like Invincible is like a really, really good
right,
one.
yeah. Most stuff has definitely seemed to be more adult oriented than it was when we were kids, and I think it's because we're the demographic.
We are still spending the same money.
Yeah.
We have adult paychecks now, but we're still buying all the kids stuff.
Yep.
Even shows like, oh, dude, I know we've talked a bit about this, but I was a Star Wars Clone Wars like denier for a really, really long time. There was just something about the animation style that didn't appeal to me. But it's interesting to see how they adapted the tone of that show for who was like clearly watching it. Like when the first few episodes, maybe even the first season, it's like you kind of have to like get through it because it's clearly catered towards kids. But I think they started to figure out like the people that are watching this show are the people who grew up on Star Wars and they're in their like 20s now.
Yeah.
And so we have to evolve, we have to mature the content of the show. And like towards the end of the show, there's like, even though it's still, I guess, kid appropriate, there's like straight up murder in the show, so it's cool.
I mean, every Disney movie, there's always been murder in kids' movies.
That's true. Why do most Disney characters only have a mom or a dad and not both?
Plot device.
But what do you think about that is effective though?
Oh man, good question. Is it effective or is it? God, I don't know.
There's something that clearly works about it. But
I mean, there's other than maybe losing a kid, it's probably like the worst thing that could happen to you is lose your parent.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I mean, if the intended audience for most of these Disney movies is a child, losing your parents is probably one of the scariest things.
Yeah.
Happen. Yeah, crazy. Speaking of plot devices, something timely to talk about here is you and I went and watched Avatar: Fire and Ash last night.
Yeah, it's great.
What was it? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Where does it rank in the top, like in the three?
Of the three, yeah. So I'll probably go in order 1, 2, 3.
Interesting. Would you say that you have the same? Like rank the original trilogy of Star Wars.
Oh, this is tough too. I'll probably get a lot of hate for this. All right, you got to remember, I was a kid when this came out, so Return of the Jedi is my favorite.
That's my favorite too. Yeah, I like Jedi. Yeah, speeder bikes, bro.
Right, and even the Ewoks. Love the Ewoks.
Yeah.
I was a kid, so
yeah,
nostalgia.
My dad used to talk often about like the cinematic feeling. He saw the original one in the theaters, and I think he said it was like crowded, so he was like in the first couple aisles and seeing that Star Destroyer come over after the credits crawl. It's so cool, man. Oh, so yeah, you're right. Age probably creates a lot of bias for Star Wars because of how old we were when those came out. Let me bring
Subjectively, they're not super great. I mean, like, I can understand people that didn't grow up with them, watch them, and be like, this is kind of mid.
Or kind of goofy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fight scenes, they were shit.
Yeah. They were pretty bad, although that's... Dude, if you looked at like Princess Bride, right? Which when I was growing up, I thought the fight choreography was amazing.
Yeah.
But if you look at it now compared to like literally any martial arts movie that's come out over the last 10 years, it looks silly. But bias, the childhood bias creates, an unfair advantage for the ones that came out when we were alive. What about the Lord of the Rings trilogy?
Like ranking them?
Yeah, 1, 2, yeah. Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King.
Probably reverse order. 3, 2, 1.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh. So same as Star Wars.
pretty much. Yeah.
Don't know why I tend to favor the second in almost all trilogies.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars maybe being I honestly waffle between the two, whether I like Empire or like, for me, Jedi is the more fun movie, hands down, full stop. The better movie is probably Empire for me, and there's a lot of scenes in it that I just think are so, like Hoth, the whole
Yeah, it's the
Hoth
best
sequence.
written one, I think.
It's the best written one, man, for sure, and it's got the big plot turn. But you know, Back to the Future, I favor the second one. Lord of the Rings, I favor Two Towers. Indiana Jones, I favor Temple of Doom.
Oh yeah.
And the same thing holds up for whatever reason with Avatar. I loved the second movie. The first one I thought was a really cool visual spectacle, but the second one I felt just so invested. It's such a gorgeous movie, and then the introduction to the Water Clan in that movie I thought was just such a nice touch, and it resonated with me.
Yeah.
This
I
movie,
know a lot of people that feel the same way about The Way of Water.
that do feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that honestly, like the first Avatar movie I saw in the theaters and I enjoyed, but I didn't see on its merit how it became the biggest movie of all time. The second one I got. The second one really resonated with me emotionally. This third movie for me had some of the most strikingly amazing cinematography I've ever seen. The character design for the Ash Clan is gorgeous. I can't remember the lead female's name. Do you remember?
It starts with a V, but I can't recall.
Dude, every time she came on, oh, dude, I got goosebumps right now just thinking about it. The character design for her and for her mount, and honestly, dude, beautifully acted. Whoever did the motion cap and the voice acting for that character, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Like when I was watching it, I was like, this is one of the coolest bad guys I've ever seen in a movie. But the movie for me felt really sort of like first half heavy, where I felt like the most invested in it in the first half, and then honestly, like it felt like there were a lot of sort of plot devices they injected into the second half, like the whale thing. To me, I was like, dude, we don't need this, man. I get that they have to tie the whales into this again because they were in the second movie, but the way they're going about, I don't know.
They were very important in the battle.
They were important in the battle, but I don't want to say it's like Deus Ex Machina a bit. Like Return of the King for me, loved that movie. Lord of the Rings,
The ghosts,
totally Deus Ex Machina. You know, like oh, we have this invincible thing available to us that we haven't talked about until today.
Yeah.
You know, the whales, it felt like
we just happen to be right here.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, and how easy is this? Like, dude, why don't we just let them do all of the fighting from now on? You know, like Aragorn, like, don't release them yet, man. We still got a big thing, and it doesn't seem like they can do anything to us with these guys.
Yeah.
The whales felt a bit like that to me.
I think I don't disagree with the premise that there was a Deus Ex Machina in the movies, but to me it's AWA. Every time they call to AWA sends something to help them, and they pull it out at the end.
Yeah, and again, in a way that doesn't really hold up any merit, right? Like, okay, how many of the Na'vi have died cruelly and needlessly on this planet? And then there's some spoilers here, by the way, if you want to pause this, or if you're even listening, I don't know, just listen, who cares? Like, out of all the things to get like Awa's attention. You have this spider kid who, like he's a human that has kind of like adopted himself into the Na'vi tribes culture. Is bestowed a very, very important and plot changing gift by Awa that just seems so absolutely arbitrary. Like it was so clearly a plot device.
Yeah.
And he had some of the worst lines in the movie.
I don't. Yeah, they were a little too real. Like it's probably what a teenager would actually say. It doesn't work. You're right.
As I get older, I struggle with longer and longer movies, but I was kind of struggling towards the end of this one. Overall, I strongly recommend going to see it. I mean, if for nothing else, the cinematography in it is absolute next level. Like it is absolute level up as far as movie cinematography goes, and then the visual design of the Ash Clan in particular, but how it contrasts with the forest people and with the water clans is just so cool. I mean, like very clearly to me anyways, you're seeing like 3 different cultures on screen at a time, and that was really cool.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
So I had a thought when I was driving home. I think I may have actually even mentioned it in the theater, but Neytiri, she's got to be one of the most badass women in cinematic history. And I was thinking, what are some of the other ones? Immediately in my head pops out Ripley and Sarah Connor.
Yeah, Ripley. Yep. Ripley and Sarah Connor were my go-tos also.
All James Cameron characters.
Yeah. Dude can write movies, man.
He can definitely write a believable female badass.
That is very true. Ripley is absolute top of mind for me in that respect.
That second movie, when she goes down to find Newt, my heart is just racing the whole time.
Dude, heck yeah, man.
It's ridiculous.
Heck yeah.
No matter how many times I see it.
And
so suspenseful.
The other thing is that the strength of the characters in those, I mean, like they're well shot movies for the time, obviously, but the strength of those characters is so good that I think they hold up, like Terminator 2 and Aliens in particular, the second ones hold up in a way that like Star Wars doesn't. You know, like Empire, I hate to say Empire doesn't hold up, but I think that like my wife, who wasn't invested in any of this stuff growing up, would have a way easier time watching Aliens or Terminator 2 than she would like trying to get into Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
It's because the characters are just so well executed.
Yeah. Well, name some other female badasses from cinematic history that aren't James Cameron.
Well, Clarice from Silence of the Lambs.
That's a great one.
Yeah, it's super solid. Let's see. That'd be hard, man. I'd have to do some study
here.
It is,
and it's kind of sad.
Well, I don't know. What did you like the Wonder Woman movies?
I thought they were entertaining. They're not like top-notch cinema or anything, but
I thought that first movie was fantastic.
Yeah,
I actually liked
it quite a bit.
I liked both of them, but that first one in particular was quite good.
Wonder Woman's a superhero, though, so
yeah,
doesn't really count.
Well, I think
she has far less to risk than like a normal person.
That's true. I mean, she's got a lot less on the line. That is very true. And there's again something so impactful about the way James Cameron has had his female protagonists in his movies, where it's like very clearly against the odds and gritting it out. Gritting it out, I think, is something that mental toughness is something to be aspired to, and he just nails it. So I gotta say though, my opinion is that Neytiri, they sort of just probably by proxy of how much screen time they have to share, she felt a little more one note in this movie to me than in
I don't disagree.
Like in the first one, it was such a robust, colorful character where she was struggling with her affections of this thing that she had almost like an immune system response to in Jake Sully, or her love, honestly, just her exposure to Jake Sully. And then the second movie, really doubled down on her maternal drive, which I thought they did a really good job of. But again, you've got, instead of two protagonists, you've got a, an ensemble cast, for the lack of a better word. Now in this one, you've got like an ensemble cast in the protagonist side and the antagonist side, and it's just a lot of screen time. But let's talk about Jake Sully. You made several character references.
God. First father ever.
Expand on that, man.
What a this guy is. He just never shows his kids any kind of support or love, like ever. Any of the movies.
It's like tough love.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm not a dad. I
doing stuff right, so go away. He's just.
Yeah, you made several comments during the movie about that, man.
Yeah.
When did you start hating him like in the second movie?
The second movie for sure. He was a terrible dad. He was a terrible father. And he's just treating his kids like maybe if you talk to him and like explain things a little bit instead of just follow my orders. Do what I say.
That's funny, man.
But
he's a Marine.
I was gonna say he was a Marine.
I didn't grow up
with all terrible fathers and douchebags, right?
Well,
I hope not.
I hope not too. I imagine there's some kernel of truth to it, though. I mean, if you're a guy who's like,
the cliche of military father that's overly strict,
absentee for most of the kid's life, and going through some form of
which is a shame, and it's probably intentional.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, terrible dad. Absolutely terrible. Don't be like him.
Don't be like him. So kind of coming back around to the theme of this thing we're doing together, this show we're doing together, we have some examples of behaviors to not emulate. Was there anything in this that really stood out as an example of a character behavior to emulate?
God, I mean, Natiri's bravery, holy shit. Like, she went by herself to rescue her husband.
It's true.
That was amazing.
That's true. And in circumstances, without like going too deep into the plot here, in circumstances where basically everybody else was backing down because, as it happens, just, like
that's how they got in that situation to start with, is surrender.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Exactly. In situations where the odds are absolutely stacked against them, she stands up. It's kind of one of those, if you can do something, you must do something sort of situations. And it's an easy thing to say, but it's a hard thing to do. And she, in that respect, certainly is the most heroic of all the characters in the movie.
Yeah. And they should have gone into it more to make it more of an emotional thing. But bravery isn't just doing something. It's doing something when you're afraid to do it. That's what makes you brave. You're scared. You've already crapped and pissed yourself, and you do it anyway.
I agree, man. I've likely one of the next tattoos I get. There's a quote from, gosh, I can't remember the name of the stupid book. The book is honestly far less memorable than this quote, but one cannot be brave who has no fear. And I mean, that could be anything, obviously, in a very movie relevant situation, like you're talking about the lives of everybody you've ever known. But socially, I mean, we run into these things all the time. I mean, like the most common fear in humans, even more so than death, is public speaking, which is just purely like a social fear,
Right.
But
yeah, social anxiety is a major issue with people. And you probably know this already, but we'll tell everybody else. The way that you deal with anxiety is to push through it, not avoid it. You have to push through it. Exposure therapy is the most effective way to get rid of your anxiety about something. Are you scared of needles? Donate blood every 2 months. You scared of heights? Go jump out of a couple planes. Make yourself do it.
That's a pretty extreme
I
example.
would use a parachute, but yeah,
Yeah, hence a couple. Otherwise, it would just be one. One plane.
one
Go
jump.
jump out of one plane. You're not going to be afraid of anything after
No.
that.
Never be afraid of anything ever again.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Another great quote. I've got all these stupid quotes that float through my head. It got me through running a business for 10 years. But the way out is the way through, or the way through is the way out is the way through. Like you have to, whatever it is that is keeping you up at night, you must confront it, or it wins. You know? And that is, man, honestly, that is such a recurring theme in pop culture. If anybody's listening to this, if you extract one sentiment from this conversation, it is to challenge yourself. If you happen to be experiencing anxiety or fear or hesitation about something, most of the time, I feel like that is your body telling you what you need to do.
Yeah, it's showing you what you need to work on. So listen to it. Push through it. I know it's hard. Trust me. John and I both have had and probably still do anxiety issues. I'm still working through mine, going through therapy, and it's a daily struggle, but you gotta face that demon and push through.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually, for anybody who is struggling with this stuff, I am happy to report that I'm actually in a really great spot in my life now.
Very good.
And growing up, like, my parents would attest to this. Everybody who knew me growing up would attest to this. I had really bad tics, like swallowing and blinking tics and clearing my throat. I had terrible hypochondria. I missed tons and tons and tons of school. Socially, we had all the stuff that I had discussed before, but even into my in the military, I started having really bad panic attacks. That this was before it was kind of like widely known that panic attacks were a thing. I was just having these situations where I couldn't go out. I was like agoraphobic. I couldn't go outside. Like, I would be locked in my bed for days at a time, man. I mean,
that's rough.
Yeah, it's really rough, dude. Really, really rough. And through therapy and through other medical interventions and awesome social structure, I was able to almost start looking forward to what you just said. Like, I started to be able to interpret my anxiety as excitement, because physiologically they're the same thing. Like, it's the same chemical response between anxiety and excitement. It's how you interpret it that really makes the difference. And I was able to learn through a lot of exposure to interpret this anxiousness as excitement. And so, like, now at this phase of my life, when I start feeling, I start getting that adrenal response, that cortisol response, I go like, oh man, there's something to look forward to here. Something to look forward to here. I wish I would have had this realization when I was still competing in combat sports, because I would literally make myself sick before competing in MMA and jiu-jitsu, etc. Better late than never, I guess.
Yeah, true. And to bring up an actual Alfred quote, what do we do when we fall down?
What's that, Tim?
We pick ourselves back up.
Tim, I think that is a beautiful way for us to end our first episode here, man. For anybody who's listening to this, thanks for being a part of this. We are ironing out the kinks at this moment in time. We are planning to have much more focused episode content in the future, with specific examples from pop culture, specific things that have worked for us in our own journeys, conversations with other people, including professionals, about workable tools to be able to integrate habits from fiction into your real life to level up your own game, insights into fitness, our own fitness journeys as well. And we hope to have a lot of fun on the way, and it's awesome if you join us on this journey.
Yeah, thanks for joining us as we introduce ourselves.
Yeah, let's wrap it up, man. Thanks, dude.